Roman is the biggest bad guy character in professional wrestling.
When's the last time you got laid?
French Toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Can we tell the truth about Dusty sooner or later?
Less people wanted that than are currently watching our stream.
And you know Vince, and you still think, are these true? It's like...
Welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is...
Whoa. Like, bro, my guy... God, James is in one Doritos commercial that wasn't even an actual commercial, and he thinks he's a freaking big shot. Like you don't... He's not in charge. I don't care what he says. Oh my God! Hey, people! I didn't see any of you guys there. Hi, hey, hello.
Great intro.
Welcome to a Mark It Down production. My name is Jeff. I am joined by Dave and Steve, and we are here to review Monday Night Raw. And we have a lot to talk about. Not really. We have a few things to talk about, and I would absolutely hate to, start off on a negative, but I hated the ending to Raw.
Me too.
So much. I hated it so much. Let me tell you, I don't care. I don't want to hear anything from anyone. Nobody defending this ending should be allowed to drive, should be allowed to vote, or should be allowed to have any job, because almost every job requires skill. And I don't want a person who believes that the right person won this gauntlet match to make food for me, to do any job for me. And I respect all jobs. That's why I don't want someone who believes in the outcome of this gauntlet match to do anything for me. I would never pay them for any service, because they can't be trusted with money or tasks or responsibility, because the wrong person won this gauntlet. That being said, I love Sami Zayn. He was great.
Me too.
He was not the guy to win this gauntlet whatsoever. Where'd Eric go? I go into a tangent for 2 minutes and Eric is gone, and somebody else I've never seen before is here. That is wild. What are you doing here?
I too am back. I want to shout at the clouds too.
Okay, cool. Well, it's nighttime, it's a little hard to see them, but they are there. Can confirm they are there. Look, I'm just gonna blow through what happened in the gauntlet. It started off with two jobbers. I cannot believe they started with Ricochet and JD. Like, I gotta assume so many people changed the channel once that happened, because that's no offense to either.
No, I'm okay with giving them offense.
Oh yeah, fine. I'm not gonna praise them either, but
I'll say they put on a good match. It was like, I was in the same boat. It's unfortunate because we both know that neither of these guys are winning. So it's like, why do we care? That being said, they went forth and they put on a good match. Like, I even have notes, but I don't think that it's really that important, because, I mean, again, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, I can tell you, I was sitting there thinking, how are both of these guys going to get eliminated first,
Count out. Count out.
And then boom, Bronson Reed and Nakamura could come out next. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But Bronson Reed comes out. No, who cares? This dude beat Okada. We say it all the time, but what a terrible choice, bro. And he had a kid. How much worse can this guy's life get? It's just all downhill from here.
They were very nice about the whole kid thing. I'll give them props for that. But yeah, his whole return to WWE has been stinky.
Yeah, and it's not for a lack of effort. They put him on TV. It feels inconsequential, I guess is the best way I can put it. Everything he's done has felt inconsequential.
He immediately got shown up by Ivar.
Which is so weird. It's so weird.
If I have to watch a big man match on Raw, I'm hoping it's an Ivar match. I don't care if I'm watching a Bronson Reed match.
Yeah, but there'll be one every week.
Ivar should have been in this match.
I agree. I think Ivar should have been in this match. He's earned it.
I
considering
never
the Raw
looked
he's
at the
had.
graphic. I just assumed he was in it. Honestly, I don't know why JD was in it, but
That's the weird one was JD.
yeah, it's a little weird, but whatever. Bronson eliminates Ricochet. Who cares? Sammy comes out. Sammy eliminates Bronson Reed. Who cares? Bronson Reed cheap shots him. Of course, typical gauntlets. Nakamura comes out, wrestles for a few minutes. Of course, Sami Zayn wins. Then we get to the end. Before I really get into that, can I just a quick little a little like 30-second tangent on my soapbox here? WWE, you did this really awesome thing in 2018, where you had the best gauntlet match ever.
Nope.
And you have run that into the ground ever since then. And I said 2018, not 2019. Everyone probably first thought it was the Kofi Kingston one. No, that was their second time doing it.
The Seth one.
The Seth one. And we say the Seth one. Seth didn't even make it close to the finals, but that's how good he was. He just had the first two matches last 60 fucking minutes, basically. Beat John Cena and Roman Reigns in one match, something that, I don't care, is more impressive than anything anyone on the roster has ever done. No one else can say that. What's up, Nas? And then they did another great one next year with Kofi. They did a really good one with the tag teams that same year to get Kofi into the WrestleMania match. And they have just been ruining the magic ever since. Every year they make it worse and worse and worse to the point where it's so formulaic. There's no point in them anymore. And this was another not good one. Sammy came in the middle and he got beat up a little bit and he's the underdog. And you bring in Chad Gable, the real underdog going into this match, but you put him in a position where he's no longer the underdog and it makes no sense. And he comes in and he does an honorable thing. He picks Sami Zayn up to hype him up and he gets them all excited. And he says, all right, we're going to do this. Like, this is my WrestleMania moment. I'm not winning like this. And they have a match and it's good. It's good, but it doesn't matter because the wrong person won. Sami Zayn won via fucking roll up. The worst move in wrestling. I hate roll ups at this point in this day and age, but he wins. I cannot care less now. Like, this match is going to be great. I'm going to be there for it. I'm going to enjoy it. But in what world does it make more sense to have Sami Zayn go after Gunther than Chad Gable? And I'm going to tell you what world. In no world does it make sense. And this is from every single person here. And I'm going to speak for all you guys. Not sorry. We all love Sami Zayn. This is nothing against Sami. But this was Chad's match to have. I don't give a fuck if the reports were true that Gunther was going to face Brock. That should not be a factor in this. It should have been Chad. Because not only is Chad's story with Gunther better, but Sami's story is bad if he goes for a mid-card title. Sami's story has been he wanted to prove he can win the big one. And by the big one, it's the World Heavyweight title. He specifically said that he needs to prove he's world champion material until a couple weeks ago where they pivoted really hard and had him stop specifying the world title and start just saying championship material.
A championship, he's only 3 holders removed from. He was Intercontinental champion 3 champions ago. So this is a belt he's already had. And granted, this is a very long reign, good for Gunther, but not that long ago in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. Bailey versus Dakota on this Friday is personal. Yeah, let's go Dakota, the good guy. What was your question? Sorry.
What would we, because I mean, I'm not, what would we consider the biggest title defense from Gunther?
The Drew McIntyre singles match, I would say.
Or the triple threat from last year.
Yeah.
But would we consider Sami to be a bigger, I mean, Sammy's bigger than both of the guys in that triple threat.
No, he's not big. No.
No, he's not bigger than Drew.
One man is a former WWE
Drew was in the Drew. Yeah. All right, Drew. I didn't realize Drew. But at the we're talking about at the time though, Sami was a huge deal that year. And
and Drew's a bigger deal than Sami is right now. So
he's in the world title picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I get what you're getting at, but like, it's not the same. Do you want?
I'm saying at that time, was he necessarily? Were they necessarily bigger than what Sami was at that time? Like obviously, Drew is a big deal now. Yes, we
But
can.
was he a bigger deal at WrestleMania last year?
No.
Yeah, like I
No.
think as far as Sami goes, I'm saying.
Yeah,
What
Sami
is the
was.
question? What is the question you're actually asking?
I'm comparing. Go ahead.
You're asking who's the biggest like defense from Gunther, and I would say we're saying probably Drew, maybe the triple threat. Let's say hypothetically, Gunther beats Sami. I think the triple threat at the Mania prior is still a bigger match and a bigger defense than Sami versus Gunther.
I'll one up it. I'll one up it. Even if Sami does beat Gunther, last year's match felt bigger. I went into that match being hype, and I came out of it recognizing that was probably one of the best matches of the weekend. That's not to say that Sami versus Gunther isn't going to be a baller of a match. It's going to be amazing. But one, we've already seen it in this title reign, and two, Sami's going from being in the main event last year to being in just this match that he got into a couple weeks ahead of time with no heat behind it for someone else's spot that people would have rather seen Gable be in. Nobody was thinking last year, man, this triple threat was good, but it would have been better if somebody else was in it instead.
Yeah. I understand what you mean, producer boy, but in no context is this better.
My defense, I did forget that was even a match. I didn't realize this was a rematch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was not even a rematch from like a feud. It's a rematch from a random Raw where Gunther won pretty easily while Sami was a champion still.
It's just it's a throwaway match. Lesnar was the match. I think there's a plan for Gable to say it's better or not. Probably, I mean, I guess but we can just assume that it's not, but
it's not better for Sami. Like,
go ahead, Matt.
There's so many things right there. You think there's a plan for Gable. I don't know if there is. The only way that I think this is salvageable for Gable is if down the line Gunther becomes world champion and Chad gets to challenge him. I don't even think he could beat him, but like at least gets to challenge him. I feel like that's the only way that this is salvageable. This was an odd match tonight, the way that they did it. I think it would have made sense had Chad won. You know what I mean? But they didn't do that. Chad looks like a biggest fucking idiot like I've seen in a while. He just looks like a huge loser.
Especially
it's like, why would you invest in him?
Yeah.
Because they're not investing in him, so why should we?
Yeah, so just to run through some comments, Dragoon of the West asked, how's there 4 people on here when Danny the Goat Skibble just said he wanted to handle it? That's a great fucking question, Dragoon. I don't know how this happened. You might as well join too. You're perplexed. You're always perplexed, bro. My guy's confused constantly. Gable not getting spot is fucking stupid. Bailey's a good guy, not a backstab Dakota. Yeah, but you know, let's go Dakota. Okay, Nas brings up a good question, and I want to say this as a blanket statement for all of WrestleMania. No, making it a triple threat is never the answer. Besides 10 years ago, which again was a pivot to the wrong move. There's no getting around this. None of these matches for this WrestleMania are improved by making it a triple threat. Triple threats kind of suck, honestly, for WrestleMania.
I mean, also, we did the triple threat with Gunther last year. It'd be kind of crazy to just do it exactly the same again.
Yeah, especially when Gable's story is not. It has to be one-on-one. It doesn't make any sense.
His story is not to steal one from Gunther.
Especially when he lost a gauntlet match. That's like we don't really have to talk about this because it never really became a thing. But like the weird Liv Morgan fans of the internet trying to make every match fucking multi-person. Like you can't have someone lose a qualifying match cleanly and then get put in the match. Like that's just not how it works.
She also lost. I don't know if we want to get to it yet, but she lost against Becky tonight, clean. So there's no way she can be involved.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm saying it's squandered because it's not even a thing now. It was a fragment of a thought by the smallest portion of the wrestling fan base like 2 weeks ago, and wasn't even worth addressing. I had so many memes I was thinking of, and I was like, I'm not even gonna waste time making these because it's not the same. I don't know what James's problem is. I think we've really upset him, and he just
Technical
keeps leaving.
difficulties, or no, he just straight up left.
He's got that red Wi-Fi.
I think he's just dumb. I don't know.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Man, hey, at least McDonald's gives you Wi-Fi, I guess. But
maybe
Sami,
he's watching that McBee show.
Sami winning here just isn't. And again, I can't reiterate this enough. We all like Sami. We all love Sami. It's just a bad move. It ruins two different stories at once. Sami Zayn's story was never about proving he could win a title. He's already won. It's about proving he can win a title. He's never won. And I get that you didn't want to. That's the only match you could have made a triple threat was the world title match. But because of the tag match going on, I think you don't want to muddy the waters of that match. You want that Drew Seth match to be a singles match. But making this like Sami lower back down to the mid card, it's not going to feel good. It's not a feel good story because the outcome isn't feel good. And that's where the fatal flaw in this really is.
I was going to say also at the end of the match, you could see Sami. I mean, I don't know if it was kayfabe or what they were going for, but you could see him. I think he thanks Gable at the end.
Yeah.
And I think it's a matter of like, it was either me or you for the spot in real life, probably also.
Yeah. But I will say the worst part of this entire match and what this match really is, it's really, I don't want to say it's a slap in the face. I don't want to be so dramatic about it, but like it's a slap in the face or a fuck you to people. But this match was like, hey, all you guys who are holding it down every week on Raw, the mid card of Raw every single week, like Bronson Reed having a match every week, Nakamura having a match or a promo every week, Gable doing something every week. Ivor wasn't in this match, but he does something every week. It's like, oh, none of you guys are going to be on WrestleMania unless there's a Battle Royal. And it's a fucking bummer that what chances Gable have of ever getting on WrestleMania now? Not only this one, but ever again in the future. Like for a lot of these guys, like there's like a, hey, thanks for all you do, but yeah, you're not on the card. You're here every week kind of thing. And granted, I don't want to see Bronson Reed on WrestleMania. I don't want to see a lot of these guys on WrestleMania per se, but I don't know. This entire thing was a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they also announced tonight that there's going to be a 6-pack challenge for the tag titles at Mania. And I did notice one of the qualifying matches next week is Alpha Academy versus New Day, but it's specifically Otis and Akira Tozawa. And I thought that was smart because, obviously we hadn't had the Gauntlet match yet. You wouldn't want to be like Otis and Gable because it would telegraph, the outcome of tonight. But maybe now that Gable's lost, maybe they can, swap out Akira Tozawa and put in Gable. I don't think they will, but I would like to see Gable at Mania, even if I think he's a huge loser right now. Like, just something.
I mean, are they doing like a Andre Battle Royal or some shit?
They always do that shit, but now it's usually designated to WrestleMania SmackDown.
Yeah,
there it is. Gable's your winner of that.
He probably won't even win that, honestly. He'll be eliminated like fourth from last.
I mean, maybe the story they're trying to tell is he'll win it when he's not with Alpha Academy, but the story that they're telling is not that they're holding him back. So I find that to be strange. I don't really, and he came out as like a heel today.
No, he was just in a heel spot, but he tried to babyface as much. That's why I picked him up in the beginning of the match to be like, no, get on your feet.
I see. Yeah, okay.
But everything about it, you don't put the big babyface in the match 6. That was a very dumb move.
But I don't really understand why they haven't come out last. Like, what was the hope? He comes out last and he gets like a huge, like what? He didn't get a pop at all. But what if he did get a huge pop? And then you're just super fucked for Mania because now everybody wants him in. I mean, they could be, maybe the hope was that he would get a huge pop so they could make it a triple threat and he swoops in, even though that
was never going to happen.
They would not have booked him to lose like that.
I'm just saying I don't know like what the hope was for that. But it could be another example of like a Triple H thing where he knows that people are going to be pissed. So he's kind of giving you that, he's letting you deal with it. You're going to have to just bite the bullet and then enjoy it.
We have no right to we have no right to insert him into this match. Like, we can't say anything because they made him lose coming in number 6 in a Gauntlet match. Like, that's kind of
Yeah.
pathetic, and it kind of goes against his entire original build up with Gunther. But alas, this is what it is. We're not happy about it. There's nothing we can do about it. I don't want this to be a triple threat now. I don't want to. We all agree Gable deserves better, but there's no changing it now. Like, whatever. I'm gonna enjoy that match. I'm just not gonna care, and that's sad because I like both guys a lot. But
same, and the crowd didn't care at the end of this match with Sami winning. They showed a close up of a guy who was kind of shocked, but also looked disappointed that Gable didn't win. There was a girl in the front row. Maybe it was just because it was 11 o'clock and she's an 8-year-old girl, but she was like this. She wasn't happy. No one looked excited about this, and I'm sure there were plenty of Sami Zayn fans in that crowd.
Yeah, I like Triple H is not the booker people pretend he is. Good point, James. Wish you were here to make it. But
I will say, his Wi-Fi works enough for him to type in, but he can't be on here. Anyway, I will say, I mean, I know Twitter is 1% of the world, but as far as I can tell, most people no one's complaining about Sami being in the match. They're more so just like, oh, damn, wish Gable would have won, but I love the fact that Sami's in this match. But I feel like everyone is also forgetting the fact that this is a rematch, because I definitely didn't remember that at all.
yeah, I'm sure they are, and they just want Sami to have something, but they don't realize that this is truly a step down for Sami, and it's not a good story. But whatever, we spent enough time being sad and mad about the main events, but that's the majority of what we're going to talk about tonight. We'll jump to the beginning of the show, I guess, which opens up with Drew McIntyre cutting a promo, as he's one to do. I want to say right off the bat, I really like this promo. It wasn't like amazing, but I thought the content of it was important to Drew's character. And he said, that he's a junkie for accepting the match with Rock and Roman Reigns, and he's a he's got to mention CM Punk, and he says the important part to me, the most important part of what everything Drew said, because he is interrupted by Seth, but the important thing is he said to Seth, I didn't want to hear it, but I listened to your advice. You told me to get over the bloodline, stop caring about the bloodline, to move on. And I took your advice. He's like, when Jimmy interferes in my match, Solo interferes in my match, I want to drop them on site. But I listened to your advice and I just ignored them and I did what I had to do. And then I gave you that same advice and you ignored it. You acted like it was crazy. I gave you the same advice to ignore the bloodline. And what do? You go back up Cody Rhodes in a match that has nothing to do with you. And I thought that was really nice character beat for Drew to say, hey, the reason I'm not a hypocrite for letting the bloodline interfere in my matches is because you gave me the advice to move on. So I did. And they keep finding ways to make Drew's character just that much more justified, not in like Drew's right sort of way, but in a
logical.
In a logical, I see how you have gone down this path. You are not blindly hypocritical. You're not just a foolish, I'm a heel now type of guy.
He's Killmonger from Black Panther.
Wow. I haven't even seen the movie and I knew it was from Black Panther.
Whatever.
But anyway, it's just very refreshing with Drew. I think they keep every week, they add a little bit more to it, and it's never something super flashy. Like the flashy parts are the digs at CM Punk, but like the real substance underneath that is these little extra bits to justify his heel turn that I think are really, really making him the favorite going into this match. But what do you guys want to say about this? We're not as formatted as the rest of our shows. I'm not going to throw to one of you guys when you guys could just say something.
I'll say he looks like he's having fun. I think that comes across the screen, and that is part of what makes him so compelling. Is everything you said about makes sense. He's kind of right, but also he seems to be just having so much fun with this. and it's enjoyable. It's contagious.
Yeah, I agree. Producer boy's got a.
I don't agree with that. I just thought it was funny because people are fucked up.
I mean, it's gonna be fun. I mean, it is. It's not like the match I'm most excited about, but it will happen.
I think we're in a weird scenario where the story and the feud of this might be better than the match itself, which is, I feel
weird
like
because they're both really good.
right.
But I kind of agree with you.
But I also feel like with WWE, it's also a rarity where the story is just better than the match at like a Mania. Like normally Mania, they go all out and the feud might have just been trash. But I feel like with this, it's going to be the total opposite. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because the story is just really good. It's going to be kind of hard to match that in the ring.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And they've already had quite a few matches very recently too. So it's a little hard to get Drew too excited for that. Nah, saying I would be pissed if Drew didn't win a Mania. Look, I think he's going to win too. But I see a world where he doesn't because, Seth is just way above him right now, doing bigger and better things. It's like there's a small chance, but
I mean,
I think we're all in agreement that he's probably going to win a Mania.
I think it would hurt Drew a lot if he didn't win. Like, would it be the end? No. Would it be as bad as Chad Gable losing tonight? No. But I think you got to have Drew win, especially since Seth is working hurt.
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to wrestle 2 matches in a row. He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I would also argue. I mean, I think Drew's going to win too, but I'd argue, if anything, Seth is probably going to look the worst coming out of both nights because his team is going to lose night 1, and then he's going to lose on night 2. And then what do you do with him? I mean, obviously,
yeah, that's why I'm saying there's still a chance that he wins.
Right. So, yeah.
Still, even if he loses 2 matches in a row, there's probably going to be some shenanigans the first night. And also, he got the main event of WrestleMania. So I'm sure he does not care. He's just like, I'm main eventing WrestleMania. Even though I'm losing, even though it's night 1, I'm scheduled to main event a WrestleMania. That's what's on the marquee. That's what's on the program. That's what I've been working for.
I can actually.
Okay, hold on, Matt. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut in the middle of a live episode, but I'm gonna need you to take that one more time. Just repeat that. But when you say main event, I need you to put air quotes around it. Okay.
You really okay? So I don't think Seth cares if he loses 2 nights in a row. He's main eventing WrestleMania. That's what he signed up, whether he loses or not, whether he loses the title, he's main eventing WrestleMania. He is scheduled for a WrestleMania main event. He's on the marquee. He's ready to go. This is what he's been working for, this WrestleMania main event.
Oh, that was perfect. Producer boy, did we get that? Did we get that take right there?
That's a great clip.
Okay.
I don't feel that way, but I did it for the team,
That's good. I mean, I do feel that way, but in this particular case, I'm almost like I'm so excited for this tag match. Can I?
Yeah, right.
Can I just say,
it's just so bizarre.
To any of the I still don't know what to call you guys, so I'm still gonna call you guys the Johnson suckers. I hope that's okay. But to all the Johnson suckers who are still upset or anything, this is so much better. This tag match is so much cooler than what we were gonna get. I'm so excited for this. It's gonna be wild. But anyway,
I was gonna say just before I thought I can see a world where Drew loses because he tries to stop the interference of the bloodline in that match. I know he's the heel, but the way that they went about this promo, I didn't see the whole promo, but I saw a line where Seth was like, "Oh, you can help us defeat the bloodline too," or something. I think that's maybe I saw that out of context.
He's not touching night 1 main event, Drew McIntyre. He's going unless he's there to gloat after Seth loses.
No. I'm talking about Seth and Drew's match together. When the bloodline tries to interfere and ruin it for Seth, I can see Drew being like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm trying to win this." I mean, he's not like a weasel heel, so I can see him being like, "I don't want to win this way." And then fucking himself over in turn.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't think this is gonna. I don't want to start a whole side tangent about this, but I could see a world where uh, the Bloodline, they win on night one, and they beat up Seth so bad, and then invite Damian Priest to come down and cash in. And like, is wouldn't make sense, but I think it'd be really funny if they did that and Priest cashed in, won, and then they just didn't have a world title match the next night because it's like that wasn't the scheduled match, and Drew gets fucked over again.
Yikes.
But that obviously that's not gonna happen. And we could talk about Damian Priest with when we do WrestleMania predictions, but for now,
real quick, I think that would be great for Drew's character. Like, I don't like it, but I could just see Drew.
Yeah,
and it's entertaining.
Yeah, ultimately, we got to still fill a lot of time between now and when Punk comes back. So, we need Drew to have a lot on his plate going forward. So, we'll see how it goes. But good start to Raw.
Did you want to talk about that comment that we just had up there?
I didn't see it. What was the comment?
It was Seth completely buried his own championship. How can you say a tag match is more important to Seth than his own championship? I will answer this. It's not the tag match. It's the fact that it's the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes. And also, that's one of the things I like it, that this tag match feels huge. It feels bigger than the titles. And that's what's cool about it, which, I know it's not always a good thing to have things be bigger than the titles, but in this particular case, it feels massive because of that. You have both champions. Roman's in this match too, with his title, it's a big deal. It feels cool because of that. But that being said, yeah, I get that, but let's be real, I don't care because his title is lesser than. So, you know what? Him being involved in this makes his title feel like more than it is. So, you can try to spin it however you want, but at the end of the day, he's better off being in this main event, as Matt put it, than being just have faith in Drew and that's it. And look, if Punk doesn't get hurt, who knows how this turns out? But if when Punk got hurt, his main event was gone. Because guess what? In no world does Drew versus Seth main event night one. Absolutely no world. Rhea Becky main events night one if there's no Punk Seth or this tag match doesn't exist.
Agreed.
So for Seth, this is as good as it's gonna get. Chris Leclerc still in the chat. Chris, what's up, man? What's funny is I'm just joking. I love Bayley too, but there's no way she's main eventing night one, and it's not because of her. It's not because of her that she's not main eventing night one. It's the damage control is not a big enough deal to main event night one. Bayley deserves to main event WrestleMania, but there's still time. Bayley's not going anywhere. She's a lifer. But anyway, we'll finally move on in this show. There's not much more to talk about. We're gonna not talk about a lot of the show. You're gonna realize. But
do you want to go to the ladder match? Skip a couple things. Go to the ladder match announcement. That's interesting.
Nope. I want to talk about the women. The first match of the show was Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. A fun match. It was a nice, very painful to look at powerbomb off the apron from Liv to Becky. I had a very loud thud. Decent match. Crowd got into it. God, this is awesome champ by the end. Becky wins. After they had a nice spot where both of them hit their finishers on the other, but the other person rolled out of the ring, which was a nice touch. These two have had a lot of matches before. A lot of, I guess we're going to call them the Liv Morgan crybabies because her catchphrase is cry about it. And it turns out she was talking to her own fans. But, they forget that Becky kind of put her on the map 3 years ago and really was the reason that people even see her as a title contender at all. But anyway, Becky wins after countering Liv jumping off the top rope. It's a manhandle slam. Fun match. I'm surprised. I thought this match was going to end the same way the match ended last week, which was just the inverse where Nia would come out and interfere. But I'm very glad that it didn't because you're building Becky versus Rhea, so she should probably win some matches. Oh, okay. I thought this tweet was gonna have
No, it wasn't.
more. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. It's a fine graphic. I don't know what else.
Excited about the graphic, dude. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's
I
cool. I
noticed
mean,
new
good
graphics
for that
are
person.
cool.
Good for that person. But
I am seeing Liv got cheered more than Becky tonight. Is that true?
No, they both got cheered. No one got booed. They were just both cheered. But this crowd wasn't super loud for this. Like, it took them a lot to get into it. But
it was a solid match, though. I enjoyed it, and I think Liv, she's looked great since her return. I feel like she's definitely gotten stronger. Like, there was some spots in the Elimination Chamber specifically where I'm like, shit, dude, she's like, throwing people around. And tonight, same thing. Like the sunset flip power bomb was a great spot, and she's looking really good. I hope they do have something good in store for her for WrestleMania, but I would not want to see this world title match for the women's world title match. I would not want to see become a triple threat.
Oh God, no, that would literally be the worst. I don't. It's funny because like I know you pulled these up, and like I've looked at the market down Twitter, and like I have to scroll so much to find any of this. The Liv Morgan like
this is my personal algorithm.
Okay, like I like it's just not. It's not there. They're not as big of a force as they think they are, but it's really dumb. And I just want to be I want to be nice to people, but I mean this. I've set myself up for this, by trying to say things. He's really got to scour for these, but how is it Liv's opportunity? She lost the Rumble. She lost the Elimination Chamber. People are thinking because she had a one-off tag team with Rhea that never won titles together, that this should be the match. Like, Liv is so many levels below the two of them. Like, Rhea's on top of the world right now. Becky's a legend. And Liv is just like an upper mid-card person.
Liv is Jey Uso of the women's division right now.
Not even. Because Jey Uso is over as fuck, and Liv is just like normal over. Like Liv is like When
Liv finds her yeet, whatever that is, then she will be on Jey Uso's level. Because Watch Me is not terrible, but it's not it.
Yeah, Liv is like I don't even have an apt comparison, but like she's just fine. No one dislikes Liv, but she's not singles world title WrestleMania match person. It's just it doesn't make any sense. So I didn't want to get into this little tangent because
go for it.
I don't like going against fandoms, certain fandoms. And it's usually certain female wrestlers fandoms I don't want to start beef with. Like, I don't want to start beef with Sasha Banks fans. I don't want to start beef with Alexa Bliss fans. I don't want to start beef with Liv Morgan's fans. But they're coming from, they have no legs to stand on here.
No leverage.
It's just so not the story. They think that Rhea turning on Liv the story was never about Liv. That was about Rhea. That was a small step in Rhea's grander story for this Becky Rhea match that they've been having stare downs for like a year and a half. Like, they first had a stare down when Becky returned from her shoulder injury going into the first War Games versus Damage Control. And now, like, they've been building this match, keeping them apart for so long. Liv has never been a factor in that, and she's never gonna be a factor in that. Like, Nia Jax is a bigger factor in that because Nia's at least been fucking really good lately. Not that Liv hasn't been good, but like, it's just not a real thing. But this week was a good. It just is actually becoming. It's part of Rhea and Becky's story. It's not a way to bring Nia and Liv into the match. It was a way to just kill time until WrestleMania and to now push the story that they're pushing, which is that Becky keeps having matches instead of focusing on Rhea and she's not giving it 100% because she either doubts herself or is, afraid. And they are painting Becky as the underdog, which I think works for now because instead of you can't paint Rhea as the underdog in the situation. So I'm on board with that, but I'm just glad that this match ended with a clean finish, and that next week, because they set up a Becky versus Nia last woman standing match, because way later on the night backstage, Becky went up to Liv, shook her hand, and then Nia attacked both of them, put Becky through a table. You're gonna have a last woman standing match. What a world! Fucking 5 years ago, if you're like, oh, it's a couple weeks till Mania, and someone's gonna fight Nia Jax and a last person standing match, that would be the most terrifying prospect in the world. But instead, it's like, oh shit, they're just gonna have a really good match next week. No doubt about it. And a random fact I saw online somewhere, Becky teamed up with Kevin Owens on a house show yesterday, and they beat Nia Jax and Grayson Waller, with Becky pinning Grayson Waller. And I think that's about right. I think that makes sense to me. That computes with me. But Eric, you don't care, so I've answered for you. Matt, you already said you like this match, but what do you want to add anything else to this? The whole what we're getting next week, and
Yeah, sure. I think Liv, it's like Rhea is on Liv's radar, and like all the Liv fans, like, it's on their radar. Liv is not on Rhea's radar. I think there's a huge, there's a difference there. There's a disconnect, and that's something the Liv fans are going to have to accept. Becky's going to go on to have this last woman standing match. They're obviously building her up to Mania. And again, like you said, to build that story, but also to give her some big wins. So I think tonight's considered a big win, even if, it's not the biggest win, but it's a big win. And next week will be even a bigger win. And I would say if the women's division was weaker right now, then yeah, we could get Liv in a main event match at Mania for the title. But it's a really strong division right now, and there's not room for everybody at the top right now. So just try and be patient. I'm sure she keeps putting in the work. She'll get back on top.
Yeah, I think that's well put. And one of the main reasons I don't want this to be a multi-person match, because it just, me, harkens back to WrestleManias of like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, where, it doesn't, you just put all the women in to get them on the card. No, this person doesn't understand it. It's not. It's like we just said. It's to give Becky big wins going into this match, because, she did lose to Nia to start off this year clean. She lost the Royal Rumble. You could always find a bunch of posts and tweets about Becky. You just pulling up, stealing people's opportunities or not putting people over. Becky's lost almost everybody on the roster. Like, she gives people wins. And if you look on this, if you look at this match, she gave Liv like 90% of the offense in this match. Like, she makes people look good. Yeah, I can't see all the 4 matches on that tweet, but yeah, I agree for the most part with it. But there we go. I mean,
I heard great things about her and Tiffany Stratton too. Like, I didn't see either of those matches, but those were apparently bangers.
Oh, they were the what was it? I guess it was a Extreme Rules match. I forget what exact no DQ stipulation. All the no DQ matches are just the same stipulation, but they call them different things. It was one of those. I think it was a street fight. But like Nas said earlier, I put it up on screen, but I acknowledge it. It's weird to be looking forward to a Nia Jax match, but this is the world we live in. But it's cool. I still think Nia would be better off facing like Jade. Oh man, you see what I mean? Like, this person is just that's a fan account, I assume, or a child, but
just a hater.
It's just like, and I'm a fucking mark, so like, everything I say can be taken with, that pinch of salt that I'm biased, but I'm like, bro, I can give you so many examples of how many people she's put over. And it's insane, you know. Like like a win against Becky Lynch means something. A win against Liv Morgan means nothing. You know, like it's two different ballparks here we're talking about. But yeah, I'd rather see like Nia face Jade and then be in this match, you know. And Liv, I'm sorry, Liv, you're kind of like Sami Zayn in this regard, where it's like, well, I don't really see the spot for you, and I'd rather you not get put in a spot where you shouldn't be. But anyway, I had more to say on that, and I had it more cohesive and well thought out, but I've kind of lost it.
Have we go on to the ladder match announcement that I was so excited about?
I don't know why. It's the wrong match to be a ladder match, but
yes, it is.
Danny, I do think it is what we were talking about like a week ago, where they might just do a double turn with Rhea and Becky.
Yeah, they could, because it seems only like so far you can pretend that Rhea's still heel at this point. Like, you kind of have to do it. Like, you don't have to turn Becky heel, but it's an opportunity to. You might as well take it. Like, it's something cool you can do. And here's the thing, you know, and a lot of people are gonna like this, but like, Rhea could lose at Mania. I still think she'll probably win, but if she lost, that's fine. It's okay to lose to a legend, because then guess what? She can win the title back. She can win the title from the other show. Like, she could be a multiple-time champion. I know she already technically is a multiple-time champion, but you know, I'm sure that a decent amount of people have forgotten her first run. Not that it happened, just anything about it. Like, you're like, it's a vague thing. You're like, oh yeah, but you can't picture anything about it.
Just losing to Charlotte, that's it.
But which title reign? You got to be more specific then, you know? You gotta really think about it there.
Yeah.
But there's a chance, you know, that's the thing. This match is going to be awesome, and there's no truly bad outcome. There's only bad executions, and I genuinely trust them because they're both operating at a higher level than the rest of their division. So it's a very interesting time. Whereas, like, you compare it to like the Damage Control story, it's like, I'm so pumped for Face Bailey. I really don't care about Io, and it's sad because I like Io, but you know, it's like a night and day thing. Like, we got a Crystal Claire in here who seems to be a big women's wrestling fan, so we've come to the right place. Just ignore the guy with the long hair.
Jade Craggle?
That's a great name. We can start calling her that, you know. It's hard. There's no autocorrect for Cargill, you know. Cars don't have gills. They don't go in the water. Those are boats. So, you know, what else happened on this show? There's a ladder match announcement, apparently. We're going to have a ladder match for the tag titles instead of for the U.S. title, which makes no sense to me. It's dope that we're getting a ladder match. It really is cool. But it's the wrong match. It really should have been the U.S. title. You got to have Logan Paul in the ladder match. I feel like it's so easy. See, I don't want to do this whole thing against Triple H, but he had a lot of misses on this show, and having Gable win was one of them. Making this the ladder match is insane. And that being said, like all these tweets are saying, this match is going to be great. I have no doubt about it. But it's the wrong match to be the ladder match. Matt, I'll let you take the real lead on this one, and give us what you think about this and what do you think it's going to be.
For the most part, I agree with you. I think there are a lot more people that are involved in that U.S. title scene that I would like to see in a match at Mania. And I think there's less people in tag teams that I want to see at Mania. I think the tag team division is kind of weak right now. Like, we had the New Day versus Imperium, which was good. And then like it just Judgment Day is kind of run through everybody. The only people that are left was like R-Truth and The Miz, who I know you hate, but like that's what they were going with.
Yeah.
And maybe DIY could have inserted themselves into that match as well and made it a triple threat, or maybe we could even get a fourth team. But I can't even think of like 6 good WrestleMania worthy teams that are hot right now. Like New Day, are they hot right now outside of Imperium? No, they're not. So there's not 6 teams, 5, not counting Judgment Day, that are hot right now that could be in this match as opposed to, I think there are like 6 guys that are hot in the US title scene. Regardless, it is great. Like you said, it's probably going to be a great match. And it's great that we're getting a ladder match at WrestleMania. I think this has been sorely missed, from the days of ladder matches and TLC matches for the tag titles to the Money in the Bank ladder matches to the Intercontinental Championship ladder matches they had a couple years in a row. We haven't had them in quite some time. God, has it been since WrestleMania 32?
I think so.
Yeah, 32. That was the last time we had a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. So again,
Was it 33 when the Hardys returned?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So, but still, it has been a long time.
Yeah,
and
splitting hairs there.
People have been asking for. So this is kind of one of those situations. You take the good news and the bad news. It's a half glass, half full, half empty kind of scenario. I'll take it over no ladder match, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll take it over no ladder match for sure. It's weird because like I can see it. You can put the Creeds in there. You can put the Street Profits in there. You can.
Are either of them hot right now though? And it's like the answer is no.
No, but like I'd like to see Montez Ford jump off a ladder. That sounds great. But
to be fair, they did steal I feel like they had a great match last year at WrestleMania. Like nobody expected anything out of that
the showcase match. Yeah,
no one expected anything out of that, and it was great.
Yeah, it was, which is why I just thought they were going to do that again, but except have the titles on the line in a regular match. But that's fine. It's just weird because like I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to see AJ Styles versus LA Knight in a singles match. I really thought they were going to be in a ladder match for the US title. So it's kind of weird that it's a fine match to have.
Is it?
Yeah, because the ladder match, it can't possibly be bad.
I thought you were talking about the LA Knight.
Oh, no. I think we're going to be like the only people sitting on our hands during that match in the stadium where everyone's going to be going crazy for LA Knight. We're just going to be like, yeah, okay. Like I kind of wish Styles would win, but all right.
Definitely the first match of the night. And
no, that's definitely a number 2 match of the night. That's not opening. That is number 2. That is fucking dead in the water. Like
I just figured they give the crowd an LA Knight chant in the beginning of the night. They give him a win possibly, and then the show goes on.
He needs something. And here's the thing about LA Knight. I don't want to get too off topic, but it's like, how has this man not won a title yet? This should have happened like at SummerSlam, and we're still prolonging this.
I think it's just the luck of the draw. It's like there's somehow, I don't want to put it on Triple H, but there are just a lot of big names right now.
Not in the U.S. title scene. Austin Theory was trash. They gave it to Mysterio, which felt random. Logan Paul feels like the only like good U.S. champion we've had in the past year.
Right. Well, my point is like, he's not going to beat he's not going to beat Logan Paul. I mean, I guess he could.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone thought was going to happen as far back as like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
People thought that before Logan Paul even won the U.S. title, that he was going to win it to lose it to LA Knight at WrestleMania.
But I would rather them make use of Logan Paul right now with that title than, him not have it and just have like a bunch of random matches.
He doesn't need it.
He's had it for a while now. I mean, I don't mind him still holding on to it because I think he's been good. I mean, I still hope he gets hit by a bus, obviously. But like, if he's not gonna, you make him champion because he's great, and that's fine. But it's like, why him versus Randy Orton? That doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton is like, it's random for us, but I mean, if we're gonna do the whole like casual conversation, like Randy Orton in a match with Logan Paul is for a casual. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I guess I want to watch that. It sounds like a shit show, but. And then it ends up being a good match, and then like if the casuals don't already know that Logan is good, they'll see it in that match.
Well, they know because they've seen him the last 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah, but they'll see him with a title this time.
I get that, but it's weird. It's like you're going with the story that wasn't there,
yeah,
versus stories that were there. Like, what about his feud with Kevin Owens? That's not done. So is Owen just not going to have a Mania match now?
Right.
It doesn't.
And you don't
make
want to.
sense.
You
It's
don't want to
odd.
have it.
Sami Zayn gets a match that he shouldn't be in, and Kevin Owens doesn't get a match. Like it
Right. And you
it's
can't
not
do
having
a
that.
you can't do a multi-man match because Randy was just in a multi-man match like a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, LA Knight and AJ Styles were also in that match, but
Right. Well, yeah, you can't have those same exact people in the U.S. title. I mean, I guess you could, but it would be kind of ridiculous.
It's a different match. I think it's not totally egregious. I hear what you're saying. Like it does seem kind of too similar, but there's differences. Like
Especially if they all lose again. You know, it's just
well, LA Knight wasn't gonna lose. Like that's why you could have had LA Knight standing on top of the ladder holding the title, which is just a better image than standing in the middle of the ring with the title. And that could have been the ending, but no, we're gonna get a tag match. We're gonna have to see the fucking Awesome Truth stand on top of the ladder holding the titles. While all the serious teams lose and have to you're gonna have the Street Profits, who I think were the best handled NXT call up. Not of all time, but they're up there. They're in like the top 5 call ups of all time. And you're gonna have the Creed brothers, who have been brought up very well as well. And you're gonna have the New Day, the most decorated team of all time. And you're gonna have the fucking awesome Truth win. It just look again, and I don't care. I'll keep going on this tangent. I try so hard not to gatekeep things, but I'm about to gatekeep nostalgia right now. We can't be nostalgic for shit, bro. We can't be nostalgic for bad times that were bad when they were happening, bro. Who's gonna be like? We're gonna be nostalgic for the 2008 recession? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
a great year.
What are we doing here? We can't be nostalgic for the Awesome Truth. It's like, I listen to the greatest music genre of all time, pop punk, obviously, and it's a very nostalgia driven genre at this point in time. It's like, oh, look at all these, like, American Idiot came out 20 years ago, and oh, look at all these albums that came out 20 years ago. But then when people are like nostalgic for like 2012 through 2014 pop punk bands, I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You guys killed Warped Tour, bro. What are you talking about? Like, it's your fault it's gone. We don't get to be nostalgic for Knuckle Puck and Knocked Loose.
A Day to Remember was maybe one of the
Loose
worst live
Plug?
bands I've ever seen.
We don't get to be. I've never seen them live, so I can't comment on that. But that's very disappointing to hear, honestly. But
right?
Yeah, that was upsetting.
I mean, whatever. I guess.
First of all, we could just tell people we're A Day to Remember, and like they don't know for sure that we're not.
You kind of do look like the lead singer. I think he kind of has your look.
I feel like he has. I think Matt looks like he's in a lot of bands, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's everything, bro. It's the beard, it's the flannel.
We just need Nick. We need Nick M.
Yeah, we have it. Like you got that look, man. But it's like I can imagine. But it's like, bro, you don't get to be nostalgic for fucking Falling in Reverse, bro. Like, no, that's not how it works. You don't get to be nostalgic for the people who were part of the downfall. They're part of the bad times. But anyway, Chris Leclerc still here, fucking bringing it up for the women. Jade Cargill and Naomi against Asuka and Kairi. I'd rather have Jade team with Bianca, honestly.
Same.
No offense, like Naomi's another one where people are like, "Oh my god, look, she came back and says that's being treated." It's like, bro, what did you expect? She's not Sasha. She was the person that walked out with Sasha. If Naomi walked, no offense to Naomi again, like her. If Naomi walks out on her own, it's like when Gail Kim walked out in the middle of that battle royal, which was badass and I loved it. But nothing, didn't even make a drop in the bucket. But that being said, I like the idea of Jade going for the tag titles instead of having her in a singles match. Like, that's not a bad idea if you're not going to do her versus Nia. Like, I kind of don't want Bianca to lose this year. I want her streak to be a real streak. Give it to 4, and then next year do Rhea versus Bianca and have Rhea and Bianca streak. That would be cool. So I would like that. Bianca doesn't trust Bailey. I mean, for good reason, right? Like, it's understandable. We all love Bailey, but she's done some bad things. But it's interesting. Maybe they'll do a fatal 4-way for the women's tag again. It's not the most inspired thing, but
I don't think they'll get a ladder though.
No, probably not. You don't want to do 2 ladder matches, honestly.
In the comments, we saw that it said put the women in a ladders match. So it's like they're not going to do a men's ladder match and a women's ladder match. I think it's fine doing that, but WWE has been like, for a while now, has been like, no, we can't have like repeats like that.
Unless the pay-per-view is named after the match, then they'll do a repeat.
But even that's like, except for like Money in the Bank and well, yeah, no, they still do that. But I digress.
Yeah, but it's an interesting. Is there anything else we want to talk about from the show? I mean,
real quick, speaking of women's tags, the next match it was bizarre. It was the Poison Pixie, Candice LeRae.
Oh yeah, I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, so it's the Pitbull, whatever her name is, from the Creed brothers people, and now I'm literally forgetting everybody's name.
Ivy Nile. I thought you were doing a bit.
No, Ivy Nile and
Maxine
Dupree versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Very, very short match. But Maxine was actually looking good this week. I know I've said that I've liked her, but then I've also been like pretty critical on her. But she looked good. She's doing a reverse caterpillar to land the elbow on Indy Hartwell. And Candice comes in, and again, there's no heat in this match. They didn't even get an intro. Travis Scott was drunk in the crowd. That was their intro. And Candice starts berating Maxine Dupree, and it's kind of funny at first, and then it's comical, and then it takes a dark turn out of nowhere. Candice LeRae mentions her dead brother. And maybe the whole point was like, oh, so that people like us are talking about it and like we're outraged. And I'm like, I don't actually give a shit. But it was just weird. And it's like that escalated quickly. And this is in a nothing match. Like, where is this going to go? Like, yes, Candice LeRae is now going to be a heel. But what's the payoff? Like, are they going to have a WrestleMania match? Why do this? Why do something this kind of like severe for a nothing feud?
Go ahead, Eric.
I think it's just a direct response to her getting booed at NXT, them really driving it into a storyline that she's getting booed and that she's not good. If they have
dead brother,
I mean, if she's down to have it be involved, then let her do it. It's not any different than, I don't know. I guess I'm going to say the MJF thing just because I was thinking about it the other day. Like, if he's cool with some fucked up shit, I don't see an issue with it being brought in.
Yeah, I don't mind too. Like, if she's cool with it, that's all that matters. It's not our place to be outraged by it. We're only meant to be outraged to boo Candice, and that's about it. And I think if you really want to be cynical about it, you can say that they did this so that if we're still booing Maxine, we're the assholes now because they brought her dead brother into it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that was their way of turning it on us. I'm fine with them. I'm just like, it's like when AEW has like a second women's match. It's like, yeah, just have undercard matches, for the women, and that's fine. At least for the first times in like the year and a half that she's been back, Candice LeRae has a character for the first time. She's had, how many video packages she's had on Raws to try to get her over and it hasn't worked. This is at least something, and it at least will, like, obviously this isn't going to be a WrestleMania match, but you still got to have other shit on TV. Raw's on for 3 hours, and like I said with all the people on the IC title gauntlet who aren't going to be at WrestleMania, like there are people there who are just there to be on TV, which isn't really a bad thing per se, but it's something happen.
I do think that's a good point. It doesn't have to lead to anything at Mania. It could just be it's something that they continue on afterwards.
Yeah,
something to do.
and it'll be interesting.
I wish it wasn't wasted on such a low level like thing. You know what I mean? Like this is the bottom of our barrel of our programming, and that's not a dig at the women because I actually happen to be a huge Candice LeRae fan. But it's like this is the bottom barrel of our programming, but like let's have the most like severe, shocking insult like of the show in this position. It's like what?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sorry that people higher up on the card don't have dead brothers. Like I don't I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I wish, I wish Seth had a dead brother for Drew to like.
I was
on.
literally
That would make you happy.
I was just saying that. I was like, damn, if only CM Punk had a dead something.
His brother is dead to him, so.
I mean, that's fair. My dad is dead to me and the rest of the world, but mostly to me. So that's fine.
How's Kevin's dad doing? Anyway.
Not great, but if he was here, he'll tell you about it. Probably on Wednesday you'll hear about it. But yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not saying it was great, but it's something,
I mean,
it works for Christian, so
nobody would have been talking about this match had this not happened. So if anything, I see it as a plus. Like who gave a shit about this match?
I do agree with Matt that it kind of feels like they would have been talking about them bringing the booing into it because that is what's getting the few headlines I've seen. So like this could have been the next escalation of it. Maybe she blew her load a little too early and she's just saved the dead brother line for like actual on mic promo. Yeah. So in that respect, I agree with you, but I have no problem with her actually bringing the dead brother into it. Granted that Maxine is okay with it, which, I feel like she would be. I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Maxine. So hopefully she can make something of the. See, look at that. Candice is already getting more over just by being compared to Christian right now. It's already working.
Did anyone even know that Maxine had a dead brother? Because I didn't know.
No, I didn't know anything about Maxine. I saw a clip going around from her interview with Chris Van Vliet that she doesn't watch movies. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Apparently she relied on rideshare when she was taking care of her brother. I don't know if that means that she was doing like Uber herself or if. Sorry, I just saw something.
That's all good. I think that's all I had to say about this match.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say, but it's just it's something. It's something, and fuck it. It's. I would like some of these people to not wrestle the fucking crickets, and if this is how we get there, cool. Because at the end of the day, for all the fans, not to tie it into earlier conversation topics, but for all the fans saying, "Oh, give this woman a chance, give this woman a chance," like, bro, you guys don't react when they're wrestling. Like, make some noise, like when they're there. Don't tell me about how, and this is directly at someone like Dragoon, but like, don't tell me about how, Shayna Baszler should be this, Shayna Baszler should be that, bro. Then go react to her, go to a show and cheer when she's there, because I like Shayna too, but what, bro? No one makes any noise when she's wrestling, and that's depressing because she's really good. It's like, yeah, like, bro, don't like do something about it,
The other problem is that, again, like Travis Scott, they have him drunken in the crowd instead of showing the women coming out for their entrances. This is a very short match, and also Raw. If they want people to get invested in matches, they should make Raw back to 2 hours, because a lot of people don't want to sit around for 3 hour Raws. I don't. I skipped the Shayna Baszler match tonight, so.
I mean, that's fair. They didn't win the tag titles, as you can probably guess, but it is what it is. But I guess to end on a high note, I do want to say that luckily, no, by all means, that's why I paused. But you should have been doing this way earlier in the show.
I know. I forgot it was. Yeah, go ahead.
But let's just thank whatever imaginary deity that you believe in that nobody got hurt tonight. Nobody was trampled There was no stampede. Nobody stormed barricades because Travis Scott was there. This was not Astro World 2.0. So let's just thank our lucky stars that everyone is okay and nobody got hurt. So on that note, on a scale of 1 to 3, what would you give this show, Eric?
I'd give it a 2.2.
That's pretty high. All right. Pretty high. Pretty high. Matt, scale of 1 to 4, what would you give this show?
2.1.
That's lower than Eric.
That's insane.
Funny.
I got to change my score.
Nope, you love Raw. That's all we heard. Oh, man. Chris, let me know how you feel about it because,
Chris, can we joke about it?
Be careful saying that in this chat. We have a lot of insensitive people here. So, let us know.
Also, cosplay is Christian, so you got to be careful.
Oof, that's Mexican's brother. Yeah. I read in 2017. I saw a tweet about it because, we're all finding out about this now. Nas gives it a 2.1, but crucially, on which scale? Out of 3 or out of 4? That's the important part, Nas. Oh my God, Kevin, Kervin. Oh my God. Sorry, we have a Kevin all the time in our chat. I thought it was going to be him for a second. But yeah, 3 hours is tough to watch. It's tough. That's why here at the Market Down podcast, we fast forward through it. We start the show at 9 something, start fast forwarding through it. And I recommend it for everybody.
Our recaps are longer than the episode, but we fast forward through it.
Yeah, in a way, because there's just a bunch of people hanging out, This is supposed to be a 45-minute podcast, but we're
45 minutes. It's supposed to be 30.
No, 30 is too short. 45 is the perfect time for a podcast. But here we are. But we're just chilling. We're having a good time. But there's not much else to talk about. The show is over. Nas clarified his 2.1 is out of 4. Chris gave it a 4 out of, I assume, 3, so that's pretty good.
Jesus.
Honestly, it wasn't a bad it was a hype show. The WrestleMania hype is there. It's just only around certain matches. There was just some bad choices on this show, like not having Chad Gable win the Gauntlet. You think he knows who Jay is? No fucking way. But yeah. On that note, I think
better choices could have been made. Better choices could have been made.
Yeah. Who is Travis Scott? That's the guy with the Happy Meal, right? I assume that's what he's famous for and nothing else. YW talking about people die for 2 weeks. People die, man. There's just you got to talk about it. And when Eric dies, we're all gonna joke about it. When I die, I won't be there, but I would joke about it. When James dies, it's gonna be funny no matter what. Unfortunately, he'll find a way. But that's our show. We'll see you next week. We'll see you on Wednesday. We'll be here on Wednesday talking about Dynamite. We'll be here on Friday, probably talking about SmackDown, putting that out there. And we'll be here next Monday talking about Raw because we get closer to WrestleMania. The hype is building. So please.
Really quick, is anyone going to, sorry to cut you off, Danny, is anyone going to, I guess this could have been asked in the group chat, is anyone going to the Barclays, the Go Home show?
The Go Home show's in Barclays? I thought it was.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're here the week before Mania.
I think you're right.
You hear that? Yeah, because we had this conversation. We said we would maybe go.
Oh, yeah. We spent money on Mania tickets.
Definitely not going, but.
Yeah. I hate the Barclays Center. Can I say that now? Barclays Center sucks, bro. MSG is so much better.
A part of me I almost feel like this year's Night After Mania might be akin to the old days, and I'm kind of sad that we won't be there. But I don't know. I can't tell that for sure. But I have a feeling it's more of like an international thing this year as opposed to the last few years where it kind of felt like it was just like a local crowd that was trash.
I think the magic is just gone, but we'll see.
That's true.
Philly's crazy though. Philly's a crazy town. I can Philly and a bunch of tourists in Philly to have a good night on Monday.
No, but even after 35, it was a New York crowd, and it wasn't the same.
Yeah, Philly sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I love Philly, but
I love Philly.
New York supremacy, but I love Philly. On that note, we'll have plenty more to talk about as the weeks go on. We get closer and closer, but for now, that's our show. For Eric Cascone, for Matt Grisanti, I'm Danny, and this was a Market Down production. Don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Dude, follow us on TikTok. It's crazy over there.
Yeah. Hit the music, man. I feel like we're dragging.